See, SAP started something like SAP R1. Okay, I'm just giving a brief introduction about what is SAP, how it started, how it evolved. Okay, it's purely a theory concept, just hardly for 10-15 minutes. I'm not going to take much about this because you just need to have a basic idea. Okay, this is not going to have any technical this thing. Okay, so basically it started as SAP R1. Initially, SAP is called as SAP R1 architecture or SAP R1 systems. Okay. Then came SAP R2. So what does this R1 and R2 mean? Okay. So R1 means real time and 1 means 1 tier. Okay. Or you can also say 1 layer. That is the full form of R1. Okay. So what they initially had was a storage system. So this happened, I'm talking about 1972. This is the year when SAP company has come up with an application called SAP R1 in 1972, but actually or unfortunately it was a failure because they have only one system which is used as a storage. I mean, you can say in that case, at the time it was something like a kind of a database. At the time, nobody knows what is a database also, but they've applied some logic and they've created some system, but it was used as only as a storage. So it's not just only storing the data will not help the business. Of course, it will help, but you should have an application which should have a logic. So based on that, whenever you require some data, you can quickly check or you can quickly get the data as per the business requirement. Okay. So next, they took some time because it was a failure at the time in 1972, and they came up with something called as.
You said it was a failure.
Correct. Okay. Because that is not going to. It is just acting as a storage system. That's it. Okay. So in so it took 7 years, and they created. One more layer, and they named it as R2. So the first one is called presentation layer, and the second one is called the storage layer. And this happened way back in 1979. Okay.
Got it.
So initial SAP system was R1, which was a failure, unfortunately. And again, they took 7. See, we are talking about the time when there is no computer.
Yeah.
Correct. There might be a computer in any universities. Big research organizations, and that too very huge amount of what I think you are already aware of the early computers, how big and how huge they were, right? So we are talking about that times. Okay. So unfortunately this was also a failure because this was not actually helping the business, okay, to perform, or this was not actually meeting the business requirements, I would say further. Okay. So what they did, again, they did a lot of research, and SAP R3 came into the picture.
Okay.
Okay. So this is called, R again stands for real time. Here they came up with a 3-tier architecture, or you can say they have added one more layer to their existing architecture. And here they came up with something called as your presentation layer and your storage layer remain the same, and they got something called as a application layer, which has the programming logic built in. Okay, so we don't need to understand, or we don't need to worry how they have built this and what is the back end of it, and because that is developed at that age, and the people who have developed, they are very strong and the analytical and the programming skills, okay, which is out of our scope actually. We just need to understand that this is the evolution of SAP systems. Okay.
Got it.
So what? Yeah, got it right. Yeah, good. So what we see as a SAP R3 systems or SAP R3 architecture, so we can call it as SAP R3. We also call it as SAP ECC, and we can also call it SAP. Sometimes some people call it as R3 systems. Some people call it as R3 architecture. Nothing wrong in this.
So,
okay.
So this is what I'm going to be learning first, you said? The security
correct.
about SAP. Okay.
Correct.
Got it.
Okay. So Yeah. So what happened is from 1992 till date, okay, till date, and I would like to also present here ECC means ERP Central Component. Okay, full form of ECC. Okay, so from 1992 till date, okay, SAP is the number one ERP provider in the world till date. That means it is ruling the ERP sector from 1992 till date. Okay, so you can wonder, so why, how come this can be a market leader for this many years? Because they have developed some application which is very robust, which is very intelligent, which is very suitable to the business needs, which is very helpful to the business to
Very
improve their
convenient.
business. Yeah, very convenient, absolutely correct. So, they have developed something. So it's not like it's developed in the overnight. You can see the first application came in 1972, and they got the exact wonderful product. Okay, that came into the market in 1922. That means it took almost 20 years for them to develop a perfect product. Okay, so which is highly appreciated by the businesses at that time, and they started purchasing ECC, SAP ECC or SAP R3, and even today also many people are using SAP R3, many customers. So you have customers like Unilever, big giants like BMW, Unilever, Johnson and Johnson, Nestle, you name some airlines company. Okay, so these are only very few of them. Okay, so you have even 80% of the Fortune 500 companies using SAP as their ERP solution. Okay,
You got it.
right. So now let's see. As I told, I'm not giving full-fledged details because this is the first day. I just want to give a basic intro of how SAP evolved and what are all the initial systems like R1, R2, R3. And now we are stepping into the new age. New age that is nothing but S4, HANA, and Fury.
Very,
Okay, so this came into the picture in the year 2015 and 2016. Okay, so what is this S4 HANA actually? S4 HANA is nothing but an SAP. So this is a very important statement that I'm writing down here. SAP S4 HANA is nothing but an updated version of SAP ECC or SAP R3. Got it?
mm-hmm.
So S4 HANA is nothing but an updated version because till from 1992, so it was a market leader, but every year SAP started to release its latest versions. Like for example, at the time, so SAP R3 or ECC, initially they came up with versions like 4.1, okay, 4.2, then 4.3, and so on. So every year they are upgrading. So see, now we have developed something in 1992. How can you ensure that there is a market leader for every till date? Means every year or whenever there is a requirement, SAP keeps on upgrading and updating its components. So that nowadays, if you see, everything is changing, market is changing, automated tools are coming, artificial intelligence is coming into the picture, right? So everything is moved on from on-premise to cloud. So SAP is also, every time it is on top of the business, on top of the other market providers, okay, other applications.
And
so
with
that is the
S4,
reason.
with S4 HANA, isn't there a private cloud and a public cloud?
Correct. Correct. S4HANA can also be used in cloud, as also it can be used on a premise.
You know what?
Okay. In on-premise. On-premise means you will have a SAP version installed in your laptop or in your desktop or in your offices. Okay. So whereas cloud-based, you don't require any installation. Your security team needs to create your credentials and they will provide a link. Like for example, if I ask you how you are using your Gmail or any Hotmail or any Outlook, are you installing something to use a Gmail in laptop? No, right? You just go to www.gmail.com, correct? Or you'll just go to, suppose if you want to open any application, every time you don't need to install it, right?
It's just a cloud.
If you want to open, yeah, it's a cloud, because you just need to type the address of that cloud IP address, then you have to enter your credentials, your user ID and password, and you're connected. That's it. You don't need to have any separate software installed, configured for it, nothing like that. So that is the difference between cloud and on-premise. Okay, I'll write it down here for your convenience. Cloud, and the other type is on-premise. Okay, yeah. So yeah, so I was telling about, so initially there were versions like every year or as and when there is the change is required, SAP used to come up with these versions, 3, and then again, the last version that it has released is ECC 6.0. Okay, over the years, I mean, still, even for till 2005, the latest version that SAP has released with respect to ECC is the 6.0 version.
That's the latest.
Okay,
one?
that's the latest one with respect to ECC.
Okay.
Okay. After that, what they did, after 2015, they didn't release any. People were expecting like new version will come, like 6.1, 6.2. No, they stopped this ECC. Okay, and they came up with something called as, correct, absolutely correct, perfect. So they came up with S4HANA and something called as Fiori, and this Fiori is completely a new thing.
I saw this thing where everyone is going to switch to SAP S4HANA in theory by like 2028 or something like that.
Correct. 2030.
Okay.
Correct. Correct. See, that's what I told. See, people are using from 1992. They are using R3. Okay. Some customers, they're thinking, because S4HANA Fiori, to implement or use S4HANA Fiori is a bit costly. Okay, for the businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So big companies like Walmart, or you can take any airlines, okay, Emirates, and then Johnson & Johnson, Nestle, the big giants, they don't have any problem. So they're already migrated into, you can say migration or updated into S4HANA and Fiori. They've already started using. But still, even now, as of today, 50% of the existing customers are still with ECC. Because it's a big decision to upgrade. Because why? Because, as I told you, SAP ECC is an ERP. Okay, so it used to use databases as a backend. Okay, I will show it in the system also. And most of the databases would be either Oracle or MS SQL. Okay, or there are so many companies. Okay, MaxDB. So these are not SAP companies, right? So till SAP ECC 6.0, every SAP ECC system has to be dependent on third-party database providers like Oracle, MS means Microsoft SQL, MaxDB, and there are so many other, MongoDB, so many other database manufacturers or products are there. But SAP, from long time, okay.
I have a question. You said that they're reliable on the third party?
Correct. Because ERP application to run, it also requires a database in the backend.
Okay.
Okay. So that database,
those applications, it wouldn't be able. I got it. Yeah.
Correct. Absolutely. See, only database if you keep also, it's not worth, right? Because it is just used for storage. Correct. You want to retrieve the data. You should have some front-end application. Correct. So in this case, front-end is your ERP, backend is your database, and since SAP has right from the starting from 1972, SAP has concentrated on developing on business applications like ERP, CRM, SRM. CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. Just don't get confused. I'm just giving you an overview. Okay. There are applications like BW, right, business warehousing, and there are applications like SRM, Supply Chain Relationship Management. So there are different applications SAP has discovered, or you can say invented, or they have manufactured, you can say, but they've never ever tried creating a database or developing a database of their own. Okay. So all the time till 2012, okay, SAP was using any third-party databases which were manufactured by other companies like Oracle, Microsoft, or any other database manufacturing chains. Okay, so they have to be dependent on the third-party providers. So what SAP has thought to avoid the third-party because see, if I own a business, just for example, I'm telling, okay, I own a business now. I want to buy ERP. So if I want to buy ERP, I also have to buy a database. So I used to buy, I mean, in the earlier days or in the earlier years before 2012 or 2015, I would go for SAP ERP because it is number one in the world, ERP application, and I would go for Oracle because Oracle is the number one database in the world.
Okay, got it.
Because I want to use the best products in the world.
So SAP R1 and R2, they didn't use a database as their backend.
This right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they didn't use because they created their own storage system. Okay. Yeah. So So what happened? So SAP has thought why we should suppose if I'm having a business, I want to go for the best one. So I have the best ERP, SAP ERP in the world. So I'll buy that. I don't have any problem with the money, right? So I would also go for the best database in the world. I'll go for Oracle. So SAP has thought why, if they have their own database, they can propose a single solution. Buy our application, buy our database. Got it? So they can acquire the 100% of the business. Correct? Do you agree? So they are losing the database part to other vendors. But till 2015, they have to be in collaboration with these database vendors so that their existing customers or partners, they should not go into trouble. There should not be any rift between SAP and Oracle or SAP and Microsoft. So they continued that contribution till 2015. But in the back end, SAP, I would like to add one more point here. Actually, SAP is not an American company. It's a German company. Yeah, correct. So it's a European company, right? So they don't want to SAP and all others, whatever you see, I think you're aware, Oracle, Microsoft, Meta, Google, these are all American-based companies. SAP is one giant which is not from Americas, that is from Germany. So they just want to disturb the relationship between the other database manufacturers or other any kind of a partnership. They don't want to spoil that. So they kept quiet, but at the back end, from so many years back itself, they started developing their own database that is called SAP HANA. Okay, and they directly released it in the market in SAP 2012. That is the first and only database of SAP. So SAP HANA is SAP's own database. SAP is also.
So they didn't. So if you have SAP HANA with SAP ECC, you don't need a third party like Oracle, Microsoft.
Correct. You don't require, because your HANA database will eventually work as it's a replacement of Oracle database. Got it? Or it's a replacement of MS SQL database. And to be very frank, SAP HANA, as far as I know, as far as my knowledge covers, this is the most or the highest performing database in the world today. Because all these traditional databases have hard disk as a storage.
So SAP S4 still uses SAP HANA as a database because it's the same thing, but it's the updated version, correct?
See, yeah, there is one catch here. SAP S4 HANA is now working as your SAP ECC, and SAP HANA is your database.
Yeah.
So SAP S4 HANA, if you say SAP S4 HANA, definitely in the back end, you will have your database SAP HANA.
Okay.
Got it? So that's why, actually, they developed SAP HANA first, and they want to convert this ECC into SAP S4 HANA because SAP has invested some millions and billions of dollars on developing this database, because they're not into the database.
They don't want the other third party to make any money off of them anymore, I'm guessing?
Absolutely. So they developed or transformed the ECC into S4 HANA so that every S4 HANA, whenever, suppose now if I want, as of today, if I want to buy an ERP, I'll buy SAP S4 HANA. This is the latest one. And by default, I should use SAP HANA.
Yeah.
Got it? So that is a business idea implemented by SAP. But SAP HANA is very, very costly when compared to the traditional databases. That is where I'm going actually. So all these traditional databases, they use hard disk as a storage, but SAP HANA uses RAM as a storage.
Okay.
Okay. So I think you have an idea, right? So hard disk, RAM is every time whenever you compare anything, RAM is much costlier than hard disk, right?
Yeah,
so if you have
all the new computers nowadays have RAM
correct.
in them. Yeah.
Correct. See, the more RAM you want, the more money you have to pay.
Exactly. Yep. Just like in computers, yeah.
Correct. Any computer, any smartphone. Correct. So same way, and SAP HANA complete storage is on RAM. So obviously this is more costly for the businesses to afford. So that's why, since SAP has implemented this plan, so that customers will upgrade to S4 HANA, they will get additional features of Fiori, and at the back end they should mandatorily use SAP HANA. So that they can cover both ways, they can explore the opportunities for their ECC or their normal ECC or ERP application along with the database, their own database. Okay. So that is about, so this is SAP HANA database, and this is your SAP HANA, which is your ERP application. This is nothing but an advanced version of ECC.
Okay.
Okay. And I'd also mention here, HANA means high performance. Analytical operations. This is the full form of HANA. Okay. And it is very, very fast. Though it is costly, but if a company, if a system, SAP system or SAP application running on HANA database, it is very, very fast when compared to your ECC and traditional databases. Okay.
Got you. So ECC, it takes what, like a day to get it? Say they want to check the inventory for, say American Airlines wants to buy 30 planes, right? Say they want to check the inventory for that, and they use SAP ECC, not SAP S4 HANA. Since they use SAP ECC, it will take them longer to get the answer of the inventory versus if they use SAP HANA.
You're talking about SAP HANA, SAP ECC with SAP HANA, or SAP ECC with Oracle?
I'm talking about SAP ECC versus SAP S4 HANA.
Oh, good question. See, SAP HANA still runs on any traditional databases, SAP ECC. Okay. Since SAP S4 HANA must and should run on HANA database, getting data from SAP S4 HANA and Fiori systems is much faster than your traditional ECC with Oracle. Got it?
Yes, but I'm asking like how much faster?
See, it's like, for example, let's assume that there is a business from 1992. Okay. Suppose you want to see your top, you want to get the data of last 30 years. That means from 1992 means 2002, 2012, and 2022. You want to get any report. It can be inventory or sales. So you want to hold the 30 years data. Okay, it's very huge, right? 1 year data itself, it will be very huge. So if you download. So to get the data from ECC with Oracle, it might take a couple of hours. Okay. With S4 HANA and HANA, it might get
like 30 seconds, 1 minute.
Seconds, max minute. Max a minute or in minutes. So there is a lot of difference. So now, right, now company or the whole world is turning towards automation, right? We don't have that much time to wait for the data also, correct? So you cannot wait for 2-3 hours to get the data for 30 years. If you have S4 HANA and HANA database, you will get the 30 years data in max 3 minutes or in less than that.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. So I would like to show you one thing. It's very, very simple. Okay, so this is one system which I have currently. Yeah. So I know that you're pretty new to SAP, but I'm just showing you. So this is one ECC system that I have now currently. Okay. So if I log into ECC, this is my ECC system. Okay. So if I log into ECC with my credentials, okay, this is your normal traditional SAP system will look like. This is ECC. This is ECC, not S4HANA. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. So if we want to see this ECC system is ECC or R3, right? So if you want to see this ECC or R3 application is running on which database, we can simply check, go to system, okay, go to status. It's a bit slow. Yeah. So if you see here, database data, so database is SQL, MS SQL, Microsoft SQL. Got it?
Yes.
So traditional, before S4HANA and SAP HANA came into the picture, companies used to have this kind of a scenario where your front end is your ECC, and in the back end either you have MS SQL, either you have Oracle, either you have any other traditional databases, which are okay at that time. Which are okay. It's not like they're damn slow, but when you compare it to SAP HANA, they're damn slow. Okay, so that's why. So even these databases are all there from 1990s. So these databases are also number one in the market from the last 20, 30 years, right? Oracle, MS SQL, so many other databases. Okay, this is what I want to show you. It's a traditional ECC system, and you have your own database. Okay, so today I don't have S4HANA Fiori because these systems also I buy it on a monthly basis from. I have a vendor who gives me access, so I have to buy from that. So maybe in tomorrow's session or from whenever we are starting, so I can show you S4HANA Fiori system. How does it look like, and what is the database there? Okay, so I have that. Let me give a try. I think I should. I'm trying to show you if I can access the. Yeah. Yeah. So I have to reach out to them. So that maybe by tomorrow I'll get that access. So tomorrow I can show you how does S4 HANA Fiori system will look like with SAP HANA as a database. Okay.
Got it.
So this is about the basic introduction. So as I told you, so if you want to do become an expert in S4 HANA Fiori, so you should learn the basics, that is ECC security. Then we can learn S4 HANA Fiori security. Once we complete the course, okay, you will be in a situation to apply for a job and start your career as a SAP security S4 HANA Fiori consultant. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So do you have any questions for me?
So yeah, tomorrow is it at 12 p.m.?
That